it feels so real from the outside looking in. It feels so real from the outside. From the outside.
I'm Betsy Hayes, and I am an assistant professor in the Mass Communication and Journalism Department here at Fresno State. I'm also an accredited public relations practitioner, and I've been teaching at Fresno State since fall of 1999, which makes me one of the veterans in the department, even though I'm just a baby in years. See, I started when I was 10. And prior to that, I worked in public relations for a number of years, and I'm also an alumni of this department. I received both my bachelor's and my master's degrees from MCJ.
Cool.
It has changed dramatically as far as the communication channels, and also in the public relations folks' relationship with the mass media. It's kind of fun, actually, because now the media needs us more than ever, because public relations people have access and they also have information. And with the shrinking budgets and the shrinking staff of news media outlets, that access and that information becomes more critical than it was before, because in the old days, some of that stuff they could have gotten without us because they had time to do it. Now they need it now, we have it, and so we become much more important to them as far as a content provider. What hasn't changed, though, are the basics of good communication, knowing your audience, crafting your message to that particular audience, making sure that all of your strategies and tactics support your ultimate goals. Just the core fundamentals have not changed at all. In fact, they've become even more important. And then even though we have a multitude of communication channels to communicate, content is still the most important thing. Nobody is going to retweet you if you're boring. And nobody is going to share your link on Facebook, and nothing like that will ever happen if you don't have good content. So it goes back to good storytelling, again, knowing your audience, what they want. All of those basics become more fundamental. In public relations, absolutely, because this is going to be stuff that they're going to be dealing with.
Right.
And so if they have no experience, it's going to be detrimental to their career. So I really think it's industry specific. And I think just like everything else, you just need to treat these channels just exactly as you would treat interpersonal communication. I've had discussions on and offline with my colleagues, hey, should you friend your students on Facebook, this and that, what are your rules? And I think that, it's what's great about social media is everybody can use it the way they want to. And, my advice is always, do whatever you're comfortable with. If you don't want to friend your students, on Facebook till after they've graduated, I have friends that'll do that.
Right.
They will not friend students until after they've graduated. My policy is if a student wants to friend me, I say yes, because I have a rule that I never post anything on Facebook that I wouldn't say in front of the classroom, so it seems a little goofy to me not to friend people who want to be my friends. Oh gosh, every day. Every day when that little light bulb goes off and I'm talking about something and I'm looking out at the students and I can see that they're totally getting it or they're really interested, that is awesome. And that happens, every day. Well, maybe not every day, but most days. Most days. And then also what's lovely is when you get an email afterwards from a student that said, holy cow, what today's lecture I really, really was interested in. Or if a week later a student sends a link that says, hey, this reminded me of what we talked about last week, and I'm going, holy cow, they remember what they talked about last week.
Keep paying attention.
Yeah. And then, when years later, you get a message on LinkedIn or whatever, this happened. This was so cool. About a year ago, I got a message maybe, yeah, because LinkedIn has been around for quite a while. I got a message on LinkedIn, random, out of the blue, from a student who said, hey, I just had an interview for a job, and I just wanted you to know they asked me who the most influential person on my career was, and I told them it was you. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I sent her a quick note back and said, oh yeah, that means you're totally going to get the job. and she did, which was
good.
really cool. And obviously we were just all being silly. But anyway, stuff like that is so awesome.